Good morning. How are you this morning? Hope all is well. Natasha, how are you? You know, this morning I was hoping to come live earlier. And as often as I can. Deborah, how are you? You know, I want to be out here and doing these lives. But before, let me say to the families and persons, I read in the news that 2 persons was kidnapped by syndicators. And again, it was just yesterday morning, I was speaking on a program and mentioning about the difficulties that minors go through and how unsafe it is. And I can tell you, I've had this first-hand experience, and by the time coming off that radio program, I saw it in the news. So, I mean, everything that I say, I thank God it's really lining up by itself because it's true. So when I come to you and I speak about minors, I speak about poverty, I speak about women, I speak about workers, I speak about Guyana, I speak about the different geographics, I speak about the different regions. I can share it with you because I know it. I've been to these regions, I've traveled to my country, all right? And it's a real sad situation how minors continue to suffer. Really, and they work hard and they contribute to this economy for decades upon decades, and more so the small miners. A small miner, you want to get a gun license, people calling a lot of money, but these companies that have everything, got people guarding security and everything. So even in mining, there's that class system. Sorry, on how are you? And so let me put that. I want to touch on a few things this morning. I want to touch. And it's important. I'm not singing my own songs here, but this is, the facts. And sometimes who dare to tell the story better than you, and not the story, who to put the facts out there better than you. And I want to touch on something, Amanda Peters told me, and it's not following up everything, but it's a good time really to give clarity and to be challenged. Because anything I put out here, persons can challenge me about it, Yesterday I was on Big Smith. And when Big Smith was asking me the situation with the parking lot, I said, hey, you were there because it's true. All the media was there. People never knew before, but they were all there. They met the owner. They met the head, But thank God how things happen. And that same Big Smith, I was proud to see her walk into his studio because he too, as a young person, while we were in office, always had access, could have always reached out to me, pray with him, prophesy in his life. And I really thank God, but there's something different. So Amanda told me that she had a video there, people, and some comments that she brought to my attention. And I like it. I do ask them when you go out there, I want to hear about the comments. And I want you to understand even the vision of the ALP from the language used. And we are trendsetters, and I'm sure, because that is why the Lord will have me here, I'm sure that the language of leaders, they're going to change their language as it relates to the Guyanese people. Guyanese people, the ALP, we are talking about wealth transformed. Focus on your mind, what is wealth? You can't share the life no more. They restrict me. Okay, I didn't know that. A lot of people saying that to me, that my life, they can't get to share it. Some people saying they can't get to comment. Listen, a lot of jealousy, a lot of things are taking place, but nevertheless, some people said stop getting the notification, all of that. Now, I don't know about technology, but a lot of things are happening right now. And so the language, we are coming and we are speaking vision. We are speaking wealth. Guyanese people, leaders of themselves has kept you in bondage. Even in their languages, how they speak over your lives. Listen to this. transportation grant. A government with all this wealth talking about a transportation grant, and people in this country, leaders in this country, don't let me say government, speaking transportation grant. 100,000 free transportation. What is transportation grant? Cash grant, uniform grant. I mean, that in itself, as against wealth, people are dependent. But I got vote because they said they're going to give you 2,000. They said they're going to give me. But as a Guyanese, the wealth of this nation belongs to all of us. You can't get to share the life no more. They want people. I'm telling you, I mean, they just box me in these days. And let me tell you, it's about it. But more than 25 persons reaching out to me. One woman asked me why I restrict and why I stop them from sharing the life. I said, I have no control. In fact, that was the first person that brought it to my attention. You know? But it is important when people come and leaders, they use certain language and all of that. And so you become dependent. Oh, this is what, and you're never feeling it. A few years ago, we were in office and I had a staff. When I talk about young people, it's not a talk for me. It's something real. I'm passionate about it. Because young people, decades upon decades, have been stymied and robbed of your entitlement and the true benefit to life. And as a Guyanese, I had a young staff at the ministry, a young staff. Rhonda, Astel, Jamal, Amanda, Tyler, you name it, young people. And the way they were treated, they can come out there now. They can come out here, including the police officers that used to be at my gate to protect myself and family. Nobody can come at my house and tell me, I see the guard, and I tell the guard, I said, where did you see a guard? No, we went to your house. I said, no. That's not a guard. That's a police officer. I always put respect to them. The first time I was home, and about 3-something, I noticed a bus on the camera show up at the house. The police officer come out and go and collect a little box. 3-something in the afternoon. 3:12 to be exact. And I'm saying there to myself, wait. Is now they bringing lunch for the police? So the police officer, in no time, he leave. I'm looking at him now on the camera, and he went and dumped it in the guard hut. So I was tired, and I get home. So I was in office then as a minister. So I went downstairs in the kitchen, and I fixed a bowl of food. I put it in a basket. I got a juice, a drink, and a bottle of water. And I have some little containers. I put a pepper in the ketchup, and I went outside. I said, officer? And he said, yes, ma'am. I said, could you give me a minute? And so when he came, I had the basket. I said, what went wrong with the food? So he shocked. I said, tell me the truth, what went wrong? He said, ma'am, the food turned over, and it was spoiled. So I give him the basket, and I called the now commissioner who was then responsible for the officers at TSU. See, anything I can come now and tell you, it's facts. I can put it out there. And I said to him, no police vehicle. Why is it at this time police officers got to get the food? I said it must never happen. And at my home, whatever I eat, the officers will eat. Nobody don't bring food to my home. Please put it for the police officers. And from that day up to the last day any police officer work at me, whatever he cook in the house, the police officer eat. On Sundays, it was there. It's your day to pick. You want Chinese, you want Pegasus, you want Brazilian, they're all alive. And you know what? When I look at the conduct, all of them, I wrote letters about their conduct and behavior and said, listen, these are men and women that the police force, men that the police, because mostly all of them were men. Each and every one of them were empowered. I said, did you get your house lot? Apply. If you can't, I will assist you to pay every single staff that worked with me. Every one of them. Every one of them had access to their own land, and some of them their own home up to now. And I want to tell you, most of them, I pay for it and pay cash. So when I talk about young people and I talk empowerment, empowerment is not when you got somebody run every minute, run behind you, fetch your bag, hold your purse, all of that is okay. And when you look at their lives, you look at their children, nothing is going on for them. So Guyanese, this whole thing when it comes to election time, think for yourself. Understand what you're voting for. Vision, the heart, it's going to come out. Be it in the blueprint, be it in your manifestos, be it in whatever. How dare us come in? We must have free transportation for the elderly. We must have zone transportation for young people. So the young boy or girl coming to go to TI between a certain hour in this route from downtown or wherever they can catch it to the TI, to the training centers, transportation. So if you want to do night classes, the girls, your parents don't have to be afraid. Because your second year at TI, most time it's in the evening. So a lot of people are deprived because of that transportation. You're going to the university, it's a similar thing. How are we talking about transportation grant now? Police officers, teachers, nurses. I mean, once before they started it, you know, and you don't even got to have schemes, but they should have homes provided for where they work and pay for. We cannot run this nation, and now with all the wealth and resources where we spilling trillions of dollars, and all we can come as lead at election time and talk about is some mega grant. How can that take care of the elderly? For us in the LP, we believe that we must have facilities to take care of the elderly. Let me share with you and touch here a little bit on the elderlies. Not just what they call this nasty building, the Palms. It's a disrespect and an insult to our elderly. An insult. Some of them, because their mobility, you put them upstairs there and they can't even walk and come downstairs. So the day they put them up there, they leave up there until they go insane. We want to have facilities across the country that you right there, you have your doctors, of course, they have the nurses overseeing them. They must not be so vulnerable where the stronger one beating up the next one and nobody's there. I went to the Palms, a woman naked with her two legs open. Oh, that's how if you put on your clothes, she take it off. That's what, you gotta go there, people. You gotta visit these facilities that I'm talking to you about. It's filthy. And that is an insult after the persons before worked so hard. And that is the outcome? No. And we're saying that it must not be a facility in Georgetown alone. While it might not be at a bigger scale in Georgetown because of the population, we must take the geographics and the population into consider. And we must have these facilities right across. At the said facilities, we must also have what we will call, and these facilities necessarily got to be managed by the government, because a government looking over government to me is the next problem. We have NGOs out there, we have civil society, we got the religious bodies that can collaborate with government. So the government will oversee and manage. And so we even have at the facilities where some persons have their parents, have your grandmother, have your wife, have your husband, they fall sick and you have to go to work, rather than leaving them in a home alone, what we will call the different timings option, like if it's a day, like if it's a facility, a daycare. So you're going to work and you can leave your parents there. You know, they read, they have the club, they have They gym, they have instructors, they can do their stretches. Come on. Look at the bathroom facilities. The sinkest bathroom I saw. One of, because like, I don't know. What's the Palms? Remember I put it up on my Facebook? I visited there when we took office in 2015 and condemned the entire thing. And government started to do some work and start repairing. Look at the condition of the compound. And they got male, female, everybody. And when I go up there, some people go up there and never come down till they fetch them down dead. That's how we taking care of our elderly. And we just talking about increased pension. We continue to disrespect in an oil-rich economy the elderly just to talk about increased pension. Well, that fixed the problem of the elderly people. But it's a nice flyer. Oh, they can vote because me. This body said they can give you 80,000. This body said they can give you 100. And that's the mind of poverty. That leaders, these are the language they use out there. In the ALP, we're not saying that. We're saying that our elderlies must be taken care of. And so the facilities that we have, and the facilities can be equipped, you know, you go to Cuba when you travel. A lot of us, we travel. They got a bus, and they got interregional clubs and zones. And a nice big bus, they got washroom facility and all of that. And taking them out to Linden and to Barbies and people where they interact and they can read and they can knit and they can speak, for heaven's sake. They just locked away our elderlies in their homes, and even if you put them in the Palms, it's the worst thing out. So that is why we end up, I had to reach out to Miss Coates in Agricola, 85 years of age. No children, one son, and he died. She said she ain't got brothers, she ain't got sisters. She was just there, the house falling down on her. The whole world saw it. When we touched the chair, she was in water. She didn't have a toilet, she didn't have a bathroom, in feces, the food in the house spoiled. Worm, snake coming out of the house. If you just give her or increase the pension, how is that going to fix a Miss Coates' life? But I'm happy that David and Tyler, they put it in the blueprint where I met her. And then, not just run and bill, we had a blueprint. We draw, we label, we put this to the public, and we said this is what we can present it to Miss Coates, and that's what we did. I built it. It's there now. It's there now. It's like the woman in William Street. She gone beyond, rain wetting her. You think when you increase your pension, where she getting money from a contractor and to fight behind these contractors and run all over they ain't got children? How is it money alone? So a lot of leaders are just speaking money and tell you all these things. That's why they don't deliver on their promises, because it was never their intentions to deliver. Never the intentions to deliver. And so, everything that I'm saying to you, if you go to our blueprint, and why I was waiting to lay our blueprint out there, is that when you go to the blueprint, we can come and we will explain, we can present to you, and that is what we're all about. Every Guyanese must flourish. Hence, the blueprint reads, the blueprint to prosperity. To prosperity. You see, I don't want to give you a lot at every single time, but I want you not to listen to the people out there anymore and judge me based on facts. Judge me what we put out there, what I've done, and you make that determination for yourself. You make that determination for yourself. Regardless of what people say, we are attracting a lot of different people. And I'm saying that if you're a woman, you're a vendor, you're a man, we speak to even a ministry that caters for the Guyanese people and the amount of social ills that we are going through. So as much as I can and as often, I promise, not only on my page, but on the ALP also, to have these conversations. A lot of you are waiting to know the ALP and what is it you're all about. You know what? It was difficult, hard, but I thank God for strength to step up, because while I was leading and doing these things out there all the time, people love that and love a Simona Broomes when you feel you can use her to build. And when you build and they disappoint the people, it hurts. But I thank God for strength. I'm coming, and I'm coming independent. What I say, I will do. I will do. So that my country and the people can benefit from purpose that God has placed me on this earth for. Simple. Right? A heart of love. A heart of love. And love is about compassion. And love is about truth. So, teachers, nurses, police, vendors, lawyers, regardless, the blueprint speaks to you. It's not just a woman who living in a depressed community. We are the voice for the voiceless. We have a lot of wealthy women without a voice. We have a lot of professional women without a voice. We have a lot of men out there with real issues and problems and nowhere to go to. We must not have our young people just having a dream, but it's time that the dreams become a reality. Let us empower Guyanese people. Let us empower young people, empower the elderly, empower the persons with disability. You know how many women shut behind doors because they might have a child with disability? Can't leave that child. We must have a facility. We must have rehab. So we're losing too many of our people. I don't want to give you everything at one time, just promise to come out here bit by bit and to share with you the heart, the vision of the ALP. What is it we're talking about, that good change? To break it down to you in simple language. Simple language. I can sit down anywhere at any time and speak. Nobody got to prep me. I was part of that blueprint. Everything that the Lord has laid upon my heart, everything I witnessed, the solutions to it, the things that I long to see. That is what it's all about. So blessings to you, and let me run off. You see, I'm poor aspiring, right, Shelly? But I have to leave, have to be somewhere. Delon said, tall up yourself. Yes, Delon, take a tall up to, God bless you. You'll hear more from us about what the LP is all about, and our vision, the vision for people. And when we talk about every Guyanese must flourish, and the blueprint to prosperity, how you can get there. First, we want to say to you in closing, this is your mind. We can't speaking wealth in abundance, and our language is still about a grand here and a grand there. That's not going to fix the problem. That's going to worsen the problem. You need a vision. You need a blueprint to transform. That blueprint that will take you into prosperity. And that is what the ELP is all about. The blueprint to prosperity. I thank you this morning. Ciao.